In a bustling city filled with ambition and promise, there stood the sleek glass towers of Axiom Technologies, a leading software company renowned for its innovative products and cutting-edge solutions. Inside those walls, a young woman named Maya Johnson embarked on her career, fueled by dreams of making a meaningful impact in the tech world. Maya was brilliant. Her mind was a whirlwind of ideas and creativity, often envisioning apps that could revolutionize daily life. Yet from her very first day, she sensed the shadows lurking beneath the polished surface, the whispered conversations in hushed corners, the glances exchanged during meetings, hinting at a fierce competition and unspoken rivalries. As she navigated her new environment, the thrill of opportunity danced alongside a nagging doubt. Could she truly find her place in this high-stakes world? Maya was one of the few Black employees in a predominantly white workforce, and she quickly discovered that not everyone was welcoming. The stark contrast between her enthusiasm and the subtle hostility around her became painfully clear. Her boss, Richard Lawson, was particularly cruel. He had built a reputation as a hard-nosed manager, known for his unyielding approach to leadership. But with Maya, it felt personal. During meetings, he often dismissed her ideas with an exaggerated roll of his eyes, muttering under his breath, "We need real solutions, not fantasies." His derisive tone echoed through the room, leaving her colleagues snickering in the background. Each dismissal chipped away at her confidence, but Maya was determined not to let it break her spirit. She found solace in late-night brainstorming sessions at home, where she poured her heart into her work, crafting innovative solutions that only fueled her passion further. In those quiet moments, she dreamt of the day her ideas would be recognized, hoping that one breakthrough could silence the doubters and prove her worth in this challenging environment. At first, Maya tried to brush it off, channeling her frustration into her work. She focused intently on her projects, often staying late to perfect her presentations, determined to rise above the negativity. However, Richard's harassment only intensified, morphing into a relentless campaign of belittlement. He would openly criticize her in front of her colleagues, assigning her impossible tasks while handing easier workloads to others, creating an unfair dynamic that made her feel isolated. During lunch breaks, a group of coworkers would huddle together, casting sidelong glances her way, making snide remarks and whispering about her behind closed doors. It was as if every small success she achieved only fueled their animosity. The more she shone, the harder they pushed her down, trying to dim her light. Yet, amid the growing pressure, Maya discovered an inner resilience, sparking a resolve to not only persevere, but to prove that she belonged, igniting a fire within her to find her voice in this hostile landscape. One late evening, as Maya stayed back to finalize a project, the quiet hum of the office felt strangely ominous. As she immersed herself in her work, the muffled sounds from Richard's office drew her attention. She paused, instinctively leaning closer to the door, and her heart sank as she overheard his voice, sharp and conspiratorial, speaking on the phone. "We can't have her leading the team. It'll ruin our image. Find a way to get rid of her." The cold realization hit her like a slap in the face, sending a chill down her spine. The threat was real, and the stakes had just been raised. Panic fluttered in her chest, but she quickly replaced it with a steely resolve. She understood now that she had to be careful, to watch her every move. Yet this revelation also sparked a fierce determination within her. She wouldn't be pushed out without a fight. As she returned to her desk, she began to formulate a plan, ready to document everything and strategize a way to not only protect her position, but also to assert her worth in a place that sought to undermine her. Despite the challenges, Maya's resilience shone through brighter than ever. She poured her heart and soul into her work, immersing herself in every aspect of software development and business management. Long nights spent researching, coding, and attending online courses became her routine, as she transformed setbacks into stepping stones. After a grueling year of relentless effort, she was finally promoted to team lead, a moment of triumph that felt hard-earned and richly deserved. Yet the victory was bittersweet as the harassment didn't cease. It merely morphed into a more insidious form. Richard continued to undermine her authority with subtle digs and backhanded comments, planting seeds of doubt among her team members. Meanwhile, her colleagues, fueled by jealousy and their own biases, began to exclude her from social gatherings and vital networking opportunities. Invitations to after-work drinks or team lunches were consistently out of her reach, creating a palpable sense of isolation. Maya often found herself sitting alone at her desk during breaks, but instead of succumbing to despair, she used this time to strategize. She began to reach out to other teams and departments, forging connections with those who appreciated her talents, slowly building a network of allies who recognized her value. In her solitude, she found strength, determined to rise above the petty dynamics that sought to hold her back. The burden grew heavier, but Maya's resolve only hardened in response. She refused to be a victim of her circumstances. Instead, she began to devise a plan, not just to survive, but to truly thrive in a world that sought to diminish her. Enrolling in night classes on entrepreneurship, she immersed herself in everything she could learn about running a business, from marketing strategies to financial management. Each lesson felt like a building block, fortifying her foundation for the future she envisioned. Simultaneously, she took her networking efforts outside of Axim, attending tech meetups and industry conferences where she could connect with like-minded individuals. There she met mentors who recognized her potential and believed in her vision, offering invaluable advice and guidance. Their encouragement fueled her ambition, giving her the confidence to dream bigger. Maya found herself sketching out ideas for her own tech startup, a place that would champion diversity and innovation, an antidote to the toxic environment she was enduring. As she balanced her demanding job with her studies and networking, she began to feel a sense of empowerment wash over her. With every connection made and every class completed, she was no longer just surviving. She was crafting her own path, ready to break free from the constraints that sought to hold her back. Each late night spent studying and every conversation with her mentors added to her vision, transforming her aspirations into a tangible goal. Maya knew that her journey was just beginning, but she was now armed with knowledge, allies, and an unwavering determination to make her mark. Years passed, and as she diligently honed her skills, Maya came to a profound realization. The tech industry was ripe for disruption. The struggles she had faced only deepened her conviction to create change. She envisioned a company that prioritized diversity and inclusion, a place where everyone had a genuine seat at the table. Fueled by her passion, Maya dreamt of developing an app that would connect underrepresented communities with essential resources and opportunities, something that could empower individuals and bridge gaps that had long persisted. With her savings carefully accumulated over the years and the unwavering support of her mentors, she gathered the courage to take a leap of faith. In a defining moment, she launched her startup, Innovate Together, a name that embodied her mission and vision. As the app began to take shape, Maya poured her heart into every detail, driven by a desire to uplift those who had been overlooked and marginalized. The initial challenges of building a business were daunting, but her experiences at Axim fueled her determination. She assembled a diverse team that shared her vision, cultivating an inclusive culture from day one. With every milestone reached and every user who connected through her app, Maya felt a sense of purpose that reaffirmed her decision. Innovate Together was not just a business, it was a movement aimed at redefining the narrative in tech and ensuring that everyone had the chance to thrive. Initially, it was tough. The odds were stacked against her as a Black woman in a predominantly male-dominated field, and each day brought new challenges. Yet Maya's unique perspective and unwavering determination began to catch the attention of investors who recognized the potential of her vision. Her story resonated with many, and within a year, her app gained traction, becoming a lifeline for users seeking to connect with valuable resources and opportunities. As feedback poured in, users praised Innovate Together for its impact, sharing stories of how it had changed their lives, whether it was finding job openings, mentorship, or community support. This positive response fueled Maya's ambition and conviction, driving her to refine the app further and expand its offerings. Soon, Innovate Together attracted significant investment from venture capitalists who believed in her mission, propelling her company into the spotlight. With the newfound resources, Maya could enhance the app's features, hire more talent, and amplify its reach, further solidifying her commitment to fostering a more inclusive tech landscape. Each success became a testament to her resilience, inspiring others to pursue their dreams despite the odds. As her startup soared, Axim Technologies began to struggle under the weight of its own shortcomings. Their outdated systems and glaring lack of innovation finally caught up with them, leaving the company scrambling to keep pace in a rapidly evolving industry. Employees who once felt trapped were now leaving for more inclusive workplaces, seeking environments where their voices were valued and heard. Meanwhile, clients began to turn away, frustrated by the company's inability to adapt and evolve. Richard, once the untouchable boss who had wielded his power with an iron fist, found himself in the crosshairs of a corporate restructuring. The very environment he had fostered now threatened his position, and whispers of change echoed through the halls he had once dominated. When Maya learned of the turmoil at Axim, a complex mix of vindication and opportunity surged within her. She felt a sense of justice for all the battles she had fought, but it also ignited a spark of ambition. With Innovate Together thriving, she saw a chance to not only prove her vision, but to reshape the narrative around diversity in tech. This was her moment to step into the spotlight and showcase how a company grounded in inclusivity and innovation could not only succeed but lead. As she began to strategize her next steps, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that the tides were turning, and she was ready to seize the opportunity to make an even bigger impact. After years of hard work and relentless dedication, her startup was now valued at over $1 billion. Maya had transformed Innovate Together into a force to be reckoned with in the tech industry, gaining respect and recognition for her innovative approach and commitment to diversity. One fateful day, she received a call from her investment banker with a lucrative offer to acquire Axim Technologies. Her heart raced as she listened, the weight of the moment settling in. It felt like destiny. This was more than just a business deal. It was an opportunity to reclaim the narrative, to bring her vision of inclusivity and innovation to the very company that had once tried to stifle her. The thought of integrating Axiom's resources with her own, revitalizing its culture, and guiding it toward a brighter future sent a thrill through her. Maya envisioned a merger that would not only benefit her company, but also breathe new life into Axiom, turning it into a beacon for change in the industry. As she weighed her options, she felt a surge of determination. This was her chance to reshape the tech landscape and ensure that her values would resonate throughout the very halls where she once faced adversity. The acquisition negotiations were intense, each session charged with palpable tension. Maya stood firm, her confidence unshakable, driven by a purpose that transcended mere business. She was determined not just to take over Axim Technologies, but to fundamentally transform its culture. As she entered the boardroom, she could feel the weight of the moment, It was a stark contrast to her earlier days in that very space. Richard sat across from her, wearing a mask of desperation that was hard to ignore. The man who had once belittled her now found himself at her mercy, his power eroded by the very environment he had cultivated. The tables had turned, and in that moment, Maya felt a mix of vindication and resolve. As they discussed terms, she articulated her vision for a new Axum, one that embraced diversity, fostered creativity, and prioritized the well-being of its employees. Her words were met with skepticism from some board members, but she remained steadfast, drawing on her experiences to demonstrate the urgency of change. This was not just about the acquisition. It was about rewriting the narrative for future generations in tech. Maya knew that with each point she made, she was not only reclaiming her story, but also paving the way for a new legacy, one that championed inclusion and innovation. "You think you can just take my company?" Richard sneered, trying to regain control of the situation, his bravado faltering under the weight of reality. Maya met his gaze, her voice steady and unwavering. "I'm not just taking it. I'm here to change it for the better. You had your chance, and you wasted it. Now it's time for real leadership." The words hung in the air, a declaration of intent that echoed off the boardroom walls. She could see the frustration in Richard's eyes as he struggled to mask his desperation, and a sense of empowerment washed over her. This was her moment to redefine what leadership looked like, one grounded in empathy, innovation, and inclusivity. Maya continued, outlining her vision for a revitalized Axum, emphasizing collaboration and community, values that had been sorely lacking under his tenure. With every word, she felt the power of her journey, the struggles, the growth, and the resilience, fueling her resolve to not only take charge, but to ensure that the company thrived in a way it never had before. The negotiations dragged on for weeks, fraught with tension as Richard resorted to underhanded tactics. He leaked rumors about Maya's past, attempting to tarnish her hard-earned reputation. Each day, headlines in tech blogs emerged, questioning her abilities and fueling the narrative he sought to create. But Maya remained unfazed, her resolve unwavering. She had dealt with worse throughout her journey and refused to let Richard's desperate measures undermine her success. Instead of retaliating, she focused on her vision for Axum, using the negativity as fuel to propel her forward. Maya took to social media and industry events, sharing her story and the mission behind Innovate Together, emphasizing the importance of diversity and innovation in tech. Each time a headline tried to knock her down, she stood taller, galvanizing support from allies who recognized the truth of her accomplishments. With every step, she transformed the narrative, proving that she was not only capable, but also a leader ready to reshape the industry for the better. As Maya prepared for the final negotiation, a twist of fate occurred that could change everything. An anonymous email landed in her inbox, revealing an insider's account of Richard's unethical practices, everything from harassment to embezzlement. The evidence was damning and could potentially destroy his career, a revelation that sent a thrill of determination coursing through her veins. With this new information, Maya's resolve only strengthened. She realized that she was no longer just fighting for a company. She was fighting against a culture of toxicity that had long plagued Axum. She meticulously gathered the evidence, preparing to present it not just as leverage in the negotiation, but as a way to ensure accountability for Richard's actions. This was her chance to turn the tide definitively. As she stepped into the boardroom for the final discussions, she felt empowered, knowing she could bring about meaningful change, not only for herself, but for all those who had suffered under Richard's leadership. Maya was ready to acquire Axum and Usher in a new era of integrity and inclusivity, ensuring that the past would not repeat itself. The day of the final meeting arrived, and the air was electric with anticipation. Maya stepped into the boardroom, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and determination. Armed with the incriminating evidence, she faced Richard and the board, who were clearly on edge. Tension simmered as she began to present her case for the acquisition, outlining her vision for a transformed Axim that prioritized innovation and inclusivity. As she spoke, she could feel the weight of every challenge she had overcome fueling her confidence. When the moment felt right, she took a deep breath and, with a steady hand, unveiled the emails that detailed Richard's unethical practices. The atmosphere shifted instantly. The board's expressions turned from skepticism to shock. Maya watched as Richard's face drained of color, his bravado collapsing under the weight of the revelations. The room fell silent, the gravity of the moment sinking in. She articulated the significance of the evidence, not just as a means to leverage her acquisition, but as a necessary step toward accountability and healing for the company. Her voice was strong, steady, and filled with purpose as she emphasized that real leadership demanded integrity. The board members exchanged uneasy glances, clearly reconsidering their allegiance to Richard. Maya knew this was her chance to not only claim her rightful place as a leader, but also to ensure that Axim would emerge from this dark chapter stronger and more resilient than ever. Before we proceed, I believe we need to address some serious allegations against Richard, she said, her voice cutting through the tension like a knife. Guests filled the room as the weight of her words settled over the board members. Richard's face paled, disbelief flashing in his eyes, while the other board members shifted uncomfortably in their seats, the atmosphere thick with unease. Maya took a moment to let the gravity of the situation sink in, then laid out the evidence with clarity and conviction. She detailed the unethical practices, emphasizing how they had not only harmed individuals, but also tarnished the company's reputation. The murmurs in the room grew louder as the board processed the implications, the once unquestioned loyalty to Richard wavering. With each passing second, Maya could sense the shift in power dynamics. She knew that this was not just about her acquisition anymore. It was about restoring integrity to Axim. As Richard fumbled for words, trying to regain control, Maya stood firm, ready to lead the charge for a new beginning. This was her moment to redefine leadership and ensure a brighter, more inclusive future for everyone at the company. "What are you talking about?" he stammered, desperately trying to regain his composure. "The unethical practices you've been engaging in," Maya replied, her voice unwavering, cutting through his confusion. "I have proof." The room erupted in chaos as board members whispered among themselves, their shocked expressions revealing the depths of their surprise. Richard's attempts to defend himself fell on deaf ears, his bravado crumbling in the face of undeniable evidence. The tables had truly turned, and Maya could feel the tide shifting in her favor. In that moment, she felt an overwhelming sense of empowerment wash over her. This wasn't just about reclaiming her position. It was about exposing the darkness that had clouded her journey and countless others. She was standing up for what was right, and the weight of her experiences fueled her resolve. As she looked around the room, she realized she was no longer the underdog. She was a beacon of change, ready to lead Axim into a new era where integrity and inclusivity would reign. After a tumultuous negotiation session, the deal was finally finalized. Axim Technologies was now under her leadership. Maya felt a surge of exhilaration and responsibility as she stepped into her new role. Wasting no time, she set about implementing transformative changes that would reshape the company culture. She established mentorship programs designed specifically for underrepresented employees, creating pathways for growth and support that had been sorely lacking. The hiring process was revamped to prioritize diversity, ensuring that a broader range of voices would contribute to Axum's future. Additionally, she launched initiatives aimed at fostering an inclusive work environment where everyone felt valued and empowered to share their ideas. Maya's efforts quickly began to bear fruit. The energy in the office shifted as employees felt a renewed sense of belonging and purpose. Her vision was becoming a reality, and with each new initiative, she was not only healing the wounds of the past, but also building a stronger, more innovative Axum. As she walked through the halls, she could feel the momentum building, and she knew they were on the cusp of something extraordinary. The transformation was not easy, and resistance from some longtime employees was to be expected. However, Maya remained unwavering in her commitment to change. She held town halls, creating safe spaces for open dialogue, where employees could voice their concerns and share their ideas. Slowly, the atmosphere began to shift. As employees saw her genuine interest in their feedback, they started to feel more included in the process. Trust began to build, and skepticism gave way to curiosity. People began to believe in the vision she had for the company, seeing the potential for a more inclusive and innovative Axum. Together, they started to rebuild the company from the ground up, collaborating on initiatives that fostered teamwork and creativity. As the collective spirit grew stronger, Maya witnessed a transformation not just in policies, but in the hearts and minds of her colleagues. Each small victory reinforced her belief that they were on the right path, paving the way for a brighter future where everyone could thrive. Months later, during a company-wide meeting, Maya stood before her employees. The once closed-off boardroom now transformed into a space filled with a palpable sense of hope and possibility. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her journey and the collective effort of her team behind her. "This is just the beginning," she declared, her voice strong and clear, resonating with conviction. "Together, we will redefine what it means to be a tech company. We will lead with inclusivity, innovation, and integrity." The room erupted in applause, a chorus of enthusiasm that filled her with pride. Maya could see the faces of her colleagues lighting up, their belief in the vision she had laid out becoming more than just words. It was a shared commitment. As she outlined the next steps in their journey, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. This was more than a job, it was a movement, and they were all part of something extraordinary. Together, they would not only change Axum, but also inspire the entire industry to follow suit. As she looked around the room, Maya saw faces filled with excitement and determination, faces that reflected the diversity she had fought so hard to establish. Each expression told a story of resilience and hope, a testament to the journey they had embarked on together. In that moment, Maya realized her journey had come full circle. The harassment, the belittlement, the sleepless nights, all of it had led her here, to a place where she could create real change. She understood that every struggle had equipped her with the strength and insight needed to lead with empathy and vision. With a deep sense of fulfillment, Maya felt grateful for the obstacles she had overcome. They had shaped her into the leader she had become, someone who not only understood the importance of inclusivity, but was also passionate about fostering a culture where everyone could thrive. As the meeting continued, she could see the spark of inspiration igniting in her team, and she knew that together, they would build a legacy that would resonate for years to come. But even as she reveled in her success, a lingering doubt crept in. Richard was not one to go down without a fight. In the following months, he launched a smear campaign, trying to discredit Maya and her leadership at every turn. He reached out to former employees, attempting to rally support against her, spreading misinformation and casting shadows on her accomplishments. Maya felt the pressure building, the suspense of whether her hard-earned success would be stripped away at the hands of someone she had bested. The fear that her journey might unravel loomed over her, but she refused to let it dictate her actions. Instead, she focused on transparency and communication, holding meetings to reassure her team and address any concerns directly. Each day brought new challenges as Richard's attempts to undermine her intensified. But with every obstacle, Maya found strength in her community, her allies within Axim who had witnessed the transformation firsthand. They rallied around her, amplifying the message of inclusivity and innovation that had become the company's cornerstone. In the face of adversity, Maya stood tall, determined to fight for the values she had instilled and to prove that real leadership could withstand any storm. Determined to confront this head-on, Maya organized a series of workshops focused on transparency and communication. She understood that fostering an environment where employees felt safe to voice their concerns was crucial to countering Richard's influence. Each workshop encouraged open dialogue, creating spaces where team members could share their experiences and build trust within the organization. With each session, Maya felt the walls of division crumbling. Employees began to express their appreciation for the culture of inclusivity she had championed, sharing stories of how they felt empowered and valued. The camaraderie in the room grew stronger, and Maya could see a renewed sense of commitment to the company's mission. Yet, despite the progress, she knew Richard's influence still loomed like a shadow. His efforts to undermine her were relentless, and the threat of division remained. Maya understood that to truly overcome this challenge, she needed to reinforce the collective strength of her team. She encouraged them to stand together, reminding them that they were not just defending her leadership. They were fighting for the inclusive future they had all envisioned. With determination and resilience, Maya and her team prepared to face whatever Richard threw their way, united in their purpose. Then one fateful evening, Maya received an anonymous tip that Richard was planning to leak confidential company information to the press. The betrayal cut deep, stirring a mix of anger and determination within her. She had worked tirelessly to foster a culture of trust and integrity, and the thought of him trying to dismantle everything she had built was unacceptable. Maya couldn't let him ruin the progress they had made. With her mentor's guidance, she quickly assembled a crisis management team, knowing that swift action was essential. They met late into the night, strategizing on how to counteract any fallout and protect the company's reputation. Drawing on her experiences, Maya emphasized the importance of transparency. They crafted a communication plan that would allow them to address the situation head-on if the information were to leak. Together, they outlined a series of proactive measures to reassure employees, stakeholders, and clients, demonstrating their commitment to ethical practices. As they worked, Maya felt a renewed sense of purpose. She knew that they had the strength to withstand this challenge, and she was determined to turn Richard's betrayal into an opportunity to showcase Axim's resilience. With every decision they made, she was one step closer to protecting the vision that meant so much to her and her team. The day of the press release arrived, and Maya and her team worked tirelessly to prepare their response. They crafted a clear and comprehensive statement that addressed the allegations head-on, ensuring transparency and honesty in their messaging. When the news broke, Maya felt a mix of apprehension and resolve. She was ready. She held a press conference, standing before the cameras with poise, addressing the allegations with clarity and conviction. Her authenticity shone through as she spoke passionately about the values Axim stood for and the importance of integrity in leadership. The public was captivated, and as she detailed the steps they were taking to uphold their mission, support began to pour in from unexpected places. Influential figures in the tech community rallied behind her, commending her leadership and dedication to diversity. Social media buzzed with messages of solidarity, amplifying her vision for an inclusive future in tech. As the tide of public opinion shifted in her favor, Maya felt a profound sense of validation. This was not just a battle for Axum. It was a stand for all those who had faced adversity in their careers. Together, they were reshaping the narrative and proving that resilience could overcome even the darkest challenges. As the storm began to settle, Maya's reputation solidified. Her commitment to creating a positive culture within Axum started attracting top talent from across the industry. The once doubtful candidates were now eager to join a company that prioritized inclusivity and innovation, and Axum began to flourish in ways Maya had always envisioned. With each successful hire, the energy in the office transformed, bringing fresh ideas and perspectives that invigorated the team. The suspense of Richard's attempts to undermine her slowly faded into the background, becoming a distant memory overshadowed by the momentum they were building. As the company thrived, Maya felt a growing sense of accomplishment, knowing that her vision was becoming a reality. With every passing month, she experienced a sense of peace settling in. The culture she had fought so hard to establish was not just surviving but thriving, creating an environment where creativity and collaboration flourished. Maya took time to reflect on her journey, grateful for the lessons learned and the resilience she had discovered within herself. She felt empowered to lead Axum into an exciting future, confident that they could overcome any challenge together. One afternoon, while reviewing company reports, Maya received a text from a former colleague still at Axum. "You won't believe this," it read. "Richard's trying to gather a board meeting to stage a coup. He's claiming you're not fit to lead." A rush of emotions flooded Maya: anger, disbelief, and a familiar determination. She had thought Richard's attempts to undermine her were behind them, but this revelation reminded her that he was still lurking in the shadows. Taking a deep breath, she realized she couldn't let this go unchecked. Maya quickly convened her leadership team to strategize. They discussed how to address Richard's claims head-on, emphasizing transparency and the strong progress Axum had made under her leadership. They prepared a comprehensive report showcasing employee satisfaction, company growth, and the successful initiatives that reflected their commitment to inclusivity. With her team behind her, Maya felt empowered. She knew that Richard's attempts to orchestrate a coup were not just a personal attack. They were an affront to everything they had built together. She was ready to confront this challenge, determined to show the board, and everyone at Axum, that she was the leader they needed. A chill ran down Maya's spine. She had anticipated Richard's retaliation, but never imagined he would go so far. A coup could dismantle everything she had built, jeopardizing the progress that had come to define Axum. But this time, she was prepared. Determined to act swiftly, Maya reached out to allies within the board, organizing a counter-strategy to defend her position. She scheduled one-on-one meetings with key board members, providing them with a comprehensive overview of Axum's recent successes and the positive feedback from employees that illustrated the vibrant culture they had created. In those meetings, she reinforced her vision for the company, showcasing how far they had come together. Maya made it clear that her leadership was not just about her. It was about the entire team and the shared commitment to fostering a diverse and innovative workplace. She also gathered testimonials from employees who had benefited from the mentorship programs and initiatives she had implemented. These personal stories would serve as powerful reminders of the positive impact her leadership had made. As she prepared for the board meeting, Maya felt a renewed sense of strength. This was not just a battle for her position. It was a fight for the values that had become integral to Axum's identity. With her allies by her side, she was ready to confront Richard and show that the company was united in its vision for the future. "I'm here to help. Let's continue from where you left off." As the day of the board meeting approached, Maya gathered her supporters, sharing her vision for Axum and emphasizing the importance of unity. She reminded them that their collective strength could withstand any challenge, and together they could defend the progress they had made. When the meeting commenced, tensions filled the air. Richard stood at the front, flanked by a few allies, his expression smug. "This company needs real leadership," he declared, his voice dripping with disdain. "Maya has proven she's not fit for the job." Maya felt the weight of his words but stood tall, her heart steady. "I appreciate your concern, Richard," she replied, her tone calm yet assertive. "However, the results speak for themselves. Under my leadership, we've not only increased revenue, but also fostered an inclusive culture that empowers every employee." She glanced around the room, meeting the eyes of her supporters, who nodded in encouragement. "I have the data and testimonials to back this up," she continued, presenting a detailed report highlighting Axiom's achievements and the positive impact of their initiatives. "Our employees are engaged, and our talent pool is stronger than ever. Together, we're building a future where everyone has a seat at the table." Richard's smug demeanor faltered slightly, but he quickly regained his composure. "But we need a leader who can navigate challenges, not one who just plays nice," he countered. Maya took a deep breath, ready for this moment. Leadership isn't just about being tough. It's about listening, adapting, and fostering an environment where innovation can thrive. Axiom is stronger when every voice is heard. With each word, she felt the tide beginning to turn. The board members shifted in their seats, considering her arguments. Maya knew that this was more than just a defense. It was a declaration of everything she stood for, and she was determined to fight for it. Maya stood tall, ready to respond. "The future of Axiom lies in our ability to embrace change and foster inclusivity. I've transformed this company in ways Richard never could." Her voice resonated with conviction, and she felt the unwavering support of her allies behind her, bolstering her confidence. "While Richard may focus on maintaining the status quo, I believe that true leadership requires vision and courage," she continued, her gaze sweeping across the board members. "We have built a culture that not only values diversity, but actively encourages collaboration and innovation. This is what sets Axiom apart in the tech industry." Maya paused for a moment, letting her words sink in. "I've listened to our employees and implemented programs that empower them to thrive. Together, we've cultivated a space where ideas can flourish and every team member feels valued. That is the strength of our leadership." Richard shifted uncomfortably at the front, but Maya pressed on, her heart racing with purpose. "I understand the challenges we face, but I also know that we have the talent and dedication to overcome them. Axiom's success depends on our ability to move forward together, not backward." With renewed resolve, she concluded, "I stand before you not just as a leader, but as a member of this team committed to our shared vision. Let's continue to build on what we started and show the world what Axiom is capable of." The room was silent for a moment. Then Maya saw nods of agreement from several board members. She knew she had made her case, and now it was up to them to decide the future of Axiom. The debate grew heated, with Richard's supporters clinging to outdated values, while Maya's vision of innovation sparked enthusiasm among the more progressive members of the board. Just when it seemed like the tide might turn in Richard's favor, one of Maya's allies stood up and shared a powerful story. Her journey through harassment, the resilience she had displayed, and the transformative changes she had implemented at Axiom. As the story unfolded, the room fell silent, the weight of her words hanging in the air. Maya seized the moment, feeling a surge of energy within her. "I didn't just build a company, I built a community," she declared, her voice steady and passionate. "And that's what we need to thrive." The room shifted, a ripple of emotion washing over the board members. Maya's words struck a chord, resonating with their own experiences and aspirations for a better workplace. She could see the walls of doubt beginning to crumble as her allies rallied behind her, their faces reflecting the shared determination to embrace the change she represented. One by one, board members began to stand in support of her vision, their voices rising in a chorus of agreement. "We believe in Maya's leadership," one said, and another chimed in. "We've seen the positive impact of her initiatives firsthand." As the momentum built, Maya felt an overwhelming sense of relief and empowerment. The support was not just for her, it was for the future of Axum, a future that embraced diversity, innovation, and a sense of belonging. Together, they were redefining what leadership looked like. And in that moment, Maya knew they were on the path to something truly transformative. The vote was taken, and when the results were announced, Maya felt a wave of relief wash over her. The board had overwhelmingly chosen to stand by her leadership. As she glanced at Richard, his face contorted in disbelief. She could see the weight of his defeat settling in. He had underestimated her resolve and the strength of the community they had built together. With the dust settled, Maya stood at the helm of Axum Technologies, ready to lead it into a bright future. Her journey had been fraught with challenges, betrayal, and doubt, but she had emerged stronger and more determined than ever. As she looked out over her team, diverse, enthusiastic, and united, she felt a profound sense of gratitude for every struggle that had brought her to this moment. Maya had transformed not only a company, but also the narrative of what it meant to lead in the tech industry. She had shown that leadership could be rooted in empathy, collaboration, and a commitment to inclusivity. With every initiative and every team member's success, she was weaving a new story of resilience. As Axiom grew, so did her commitment to fostering an environment where everyone could thrive. She introduced mentorship programs, innovation labs, and initiatives that prioritized underrepresented voices. Each step forward reinforced her belief that when people felt valued and empowered, they could achieve extraordinary things. Maya had faced the ultimate test and emerged victorious, proving that resilience, vision, and integrity could conquer even the most formidable obstacles. Looking ahead, she felt a renewed sense of purpose, excited for the journey still to come. The future of Axum was bright, and together they were ready to redefine what was possible in the tech industry.